Alright, so the guys at Tooth of the Arrow Broadheads reached out to me and wanted me to do a review of their 4-blade broadhead. We're going to stretch out to 40 yards, see how these broadheads fly, see how they act at that kind of distance. Then we'll come into 20 yards. We'll take some of the shorter blades that I've kept over the last season or so to do broadhead test on. We'll pin them up to the target, shoot them at 20 yards, and basically just put these broadheads through a little bit of a torture test and see how they react going into the front shoulder blade. Now I know a shoulder blade that's been stored in the freezer isn't the same as shooting it on a live animal. That goes without being said. It is simply something that we can test, look at, and kind of put a perspective on in reference to the animals that we hunt. So, just an idea. It's not perfect. It's something. It's still hard bone, and it's still something that we should kind of put these broadheads to the test as far as toughness, see what it does to the edges, and see if we get any damage as they go through. So, without any further ado, let's get shooting. So initial thoughts on the Tooth of the Arrow 4-blade out at 40 yards. I did notice a good little bit of wobble. The arrow was hitting probably about 6 inches high and 3 inches to the left of where our aim point was, and especially in comparison to our field tips and another broadhead that I'm shooting alongside just to test them out. Now in all fairness to Tooth of the Arrow broadheads, I did not retune my bow to match up with this broadhead. I simply screwed the broadhead on into my arrow and we went out shooting. I'm shooting field tips beside it. I'm shooting another broadhead beside it. This broad is the only one that is pretty, it's off. So it may just be something that you need to look at when you get these broadheads. Get them out the box and retune your bow specifically to these. We are going to take some of these front shoulders I've got from this past season, put them in the old Reinhardt 3D target here, and start slinging arrows. And I understand that, you know, normally it would be hide, muscle, all the other stuff, but we're going to work with what we got. Stay tuned, let's see if we can get this knocked out. There, right here where my finger and my thumb are, is that ridge I was talking about, and it split pretty well. Right there, tip of my finger, you can see where it's cut that. Now the game plan is going to be in try and put it through this hard knuckle here. These two blades here, this one and this one, are both beat up pretty good. Ended up breaking the arrow. Let's see if we can't get it out of the... Alright, so the ferrule's still together. This blade and this blade that hit the target. And if you look down the spine of them, you can see where they've bent pretty good. One last little thought on these heads. I think considering what they did against shoulder blades and even on the handle, I think they're pretty tough head. I think hitting that handle, that knuckle of a shoulder blade is going to damage a lot of broadheads that are out on the market today. Let's face it, the heads just aren't, in general, aren't meant to go through bone that hard and that dense without sustaining some kind of damage. I will say that even though it hit that handle, that knuckle, it did glance off. It continued into the target. So I think you still would have had penetration on an animal. It just would not have cut as cleanly as you would have liked, obviously with clean, unhindered blades. I think with this Broadhead, your focus needs to be on really taking the time to tune your bow to this head, which I know it sounds like a dumb thing to say, but this head, really in comparison to some others that I've shot, I think you would need to spend a lot of time making sure that your bow is tuned exactly to the liking of this Broadhead, because I think any little tweak, any little movement, any little minor flaw in your shooting form really shows otherwise on this head if it's not tuned up right. Like I said, my bow is tuned. It's tuned to field points, it's tuned to my broadheads, and it shoots fine. But I think sometimes different broadheads demand different things out of your bows. So for the bow hunters out there that prefer the fixed blade Broadhead and are unwavering on that, and that is what they've always enjoyed, that's what they want to shoot, I would say give Tooth the Arrow Broadheads a look. I think they could be worth it, especially when you were able to take the time to get everything tuned up and get it flying as best as possible. I think all in all they did pretty well. I do know a few guys that I've hunted with in the past that have used these heads and had pretty good success with them. It just took a little bit of time to get everything tuned up and ready, or right. So if that sounds like you, if you're one of the people that like the fixed blade broadheads, give the guys at Tooth of the Arrow a shot. I'm gonna put a link down below, a little promo code you can use at checkout at Tooth of the Arrow Broadheads. Get you a little discount. Head over, check them out, let them know we sent you.